Solving algebraic equations with fractions. I find students struggling with these kinds of questions, right? So my formula to do them is to get rid of fractions. So here I will teach you how to get rid of fractions and move on with solving equations, okay? Let me write a very simple equation first to begin with. Let us say we have half of x plus 1 equals to 3. Now, if we have this kind of an equation, we have a fraction here which is half of x. Now, how do I get rid of this fraction? The simple thing is, if I multiply everything by 2, then I get rid of the fraction, correct? So let me show you how. So think like this. So we are multiplying everything by 2. So we are doing times 2 to everything, okay? Everything on this side. So what happens? When you do 2 times half, it becomes 1 and you are left with x, right? Plus 2 times 1 is just number 2. And 2 times 3 is 6. So you get rid of fractions. Do you see? By multiplying like this. And now you can solve. You can say x is equal to, we'll take 2 this side, 6 minus 2, which is 4. So x is equals to 4 is our solution. You can always check this part. If you write 4, 4 divided by 2 is 2 and 2 plus 1 is 3. So it works, right? Simple. Now let me take another example. This time let me write this as x over 3 plus 4 over 5 equals to 1. Okay, now how do I get rid of fraction? Well, it's not that simple. To get rid of both 3 and 5, I should find their lowest common denominator. So lowest common denominator between 3 and 5 is, go for multiples of 3. 3 is 6, 9, 12, 15 and 5, 5, 3. 5 times 1, 5, 5 times 2, 10 and 3 times 15. Okay, if they are prime numbers, normally their common multiple will be their product. So in this case, we can multiply each by 15. That means I am times each by 15, right? Both sides. So when I do same operations on both sides, then I am not changing anything. Equality remains, correct? Both sides are same because I am doing same operation. I can do multiply both sides, I can do add both sides, take away both sides, or divide by same thing both sides. Equality will be equal, right? So when I do 15 times x divided by 3, so 15 divided by 3 is how much? 5. So I get here 5x plus, now if I divide 15 by 5, I get 3. So 4 becomes 4 times 3, 12. Equals to 15 times 1 is 15. Is that okay? Now we can solve for 5x. So 5x is equals to 15 minus 12, and so we get x equals to 15 minus 12 is 3 divided by 5, right? So let me first write 5 here, then I divide by 5 each time, right? So 5 here, correct? So basically I divided by 5 to get rid of this 5. Is it okay? So we get x equals to 3 over 5. So like this we got rid of the fraction and we solved our question, right? Now, so let me try one more. And this time what I will do is I'll write like 1 over 3 plus x over 2 equals to, let's say 2, right? Now here, what should I multiply by to get rid of these fractions? Well, as you know, both are prime numbers. 6 is a good number to multiply by, correct? So if I multiply by 6 each and every term, these are the different terms, right? On both sides of equality, I can solve this, right? So I do by 6. So what I'm doing is, I'm times this by 6, times this by 6, and times this by 6. So what happens? 6 divided by 3 is 2, so I get with 2 here. 6 divided by 2 is 3, so I get 3x here, and 6 times 2 is 12, so I get 3x equals to 12 minus 2, which is 10, right? and then I get x equals to 10 divided by 3. Now that is simple for you, correct? So you could always do this operation. Perfect. Now let me give you something with negatives, right? Let's say we have here, let's say 2 over 3x minus 1 over 6 equals to, let's say, 1. Okay, how will you solve this? Now here, you know, 3 and 6 are related. 3 times 2 is 6, right? So we need not multiply each to make same denominator. We could multiply by 6 by each, right? Or what I'm trying to say, we need not multiply by 18. 6 times 3 is 18, right? We can use the lowest common denominator. Lowest common denominator here is 6. So we'll multiply each by 6 here. So what happens when I times this? When I times this with 6, right? So in that case, we get 6 times 2 is 12, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So we get 4x. And 6 over 6 is just minus 1 equals to 1. So we get 4x equals to 1 plus 1. So we get 4x equals to 2, and x equals to 2 divided by 4, which is half. Is it okay? So that is how we can do these operations. So the idea here is to multiply by the lowest common denominator, right? So if I have, let me just move on, give you a few more. 2 over 5x minus, let us say, 3 over 10 equals to 1 over 5. Then how should you do it? Well, this time you should be multiplying by what? Well, 5 times 10 is 50, and 50 could have been one number, but lowest common denominator will be 20, because 10 times 2 is 20. And do you remember how to find lowest common denominator? Let me show you that also once again. You can look into my video of finding lowest common denominator, right? So we got denominators as 5, 10 and 5, so we need not write 5 two times. I can write 5 and 10. So I have 5 and 10 here. So these can be divided by 5. So if I divide 5 by 5, I get 1, and 10 by 5, 2. So the lowest common denominator is 5 times 1 times 2. Let me write 5 times 1 times 2, which is 10. So I should multiply each and every term here by 10. Correct? So I multiply this by 10, I multiply this by 10, and I multiply this by 10. Okay? So if I do that, what do I get? So 10 times 2 is 20. 20 divided by 5 is 4. So we get 4x. 10 divided by 10 is 1. So we're left with 3. Or you can say 10 times 3 is 30. 30 divided by 10 is 3. So we can minus 3 here. And 10 divided by 5 is 2. Therefore, we get 4x equals to 2 plus 3, right? Which is 5. So x is equals to 5 over 4. So like this you can continue and get rid of fractions to solve. Let me give you some questions now so that you can try them on your own. Okay, so here is a list of questions for you to do. So you can do this. How about x plus half equals to 3, and you can solve for x, and then you can have x over 2 minus 2 over 3 equals to, let's say, 1, and then you can try 2 over 3x plus 1 equals to 1 over 6. Okay, try to do these questions yourself by getting rid of fractions, right? The fraction part here is 2, multiply everything by 2. The fraction part here is 2 and 3. Their lowest common denominator should be 6, right? Or you can say lowest common multiple is 6. So you can multiply each by 6 and get rid of both the fractions. Here again 3 and 6. So you can multiply by 6 each term, get rid of fraction, and then do your question. Okay, I hope this will be very helpful for you to solve now all the problems which involve fractions. Thank you.